Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. Let's kick off today's video with a story straight from the wild world of retail returns, where customer logic meets store policy, and somehow store policy always loses the argument. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned-on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. Apparently, I have secret hacker powers I'm just not using at the register. Over a decade ago, I worked at the customer service desk for a large chain department store. My job mostly involved handling returns. For the most part, it was straightforward. I'd say about 95% of the returns were routine, 4% were a little odd, and the remaining 1%, that's where the truly memorable ones fell, and this story's definitely one of those. First, let me quickly explain how returns worked at our store. When someone wanted to return an item, we had a few ways to process it. The easiest was if they had their receipt, I could scan it, and the computer would automatically pull up their original purchase information. If they didn't have the receipt, no problem. I could also look up the transaction by scanning the card they used to buy the item, whether that was a store credit card or a regular Visa, MasterCard, or other major card. Either way, we'd refund the money back to the original form of payment. That was store policy. If the customer asked, or if we couldn't issue the refund to the card for some reason, we could give them a merchandise credit instead. Basically, store credit they could use on a future purchase. If the customer didn't have a receipt or couldn't provide the purchasing card, we'd still take the return, but we'd issue the merchandise credit at the lowest sale price the item had been offered at, just in case it was purchased on clearance or during a discount period. On this particular day, a woman came up to the counter wanting to return an item. I don't remember what she was returning, maybe some household goods, maybe clothing, because that wasn't what made this return so unforgettable. What stood out was how she expected the return to be processed. She handed me her receipt, which showed she'd purchased the item from credit card A. She then explained that she had since closed credit card A and now had a new card, credit card B, and she wanted her refund to be credited to this new card. I paused for a second, thinking maybe she misspoke. I asked, "So just to confirm, you want the refund to go back onto this credit card B?" "Yes," she said, like it was the most obvious thing in the world. "Just type in the new number." I tried to explain that, unfortunately, that's not how our system worked. "I'm sorry, ma'am, the refund can only go back to the original payment method, or we can use it as a merchandise credit." She frowned and repeated herself. "I closed that card. Just put the refund on my new card. It's no big deal, just type it in." I explained again that the computer didn't have a place for me to enter a new card number for a refund. The refund had to go to the original card because that's how our system verified the transaction. Even if I wanted to, I couldn't just type in a different card number. She wasn't having it. She insisted that I clearly just didn't have the authority and asked to speak to my manager. My manager came over and I explained the situation. My manager gave the same explanation I did, that the refund could go to the original card or be issued as store credit, but we couldn't refund to a different credit card. The customer seemed to think we were holding out on her, like there was some secret override code we weren't willing to use. She got frustrated and I could see the disbelief on her face, like we were just being difficult on purpose. What she didn't seem to understand, and what I even tried to gently point out, is that she really wouldn't want it to work the way she was suggesting. If I could just type in any card number and issue a refund, what would stop me or anyone else from refunding store money to any card we wanted? That would be a major security risk, and it's exactly why the system was locked down like it was. In the end, I honestly don't remember what she decided. My guess is she took the merchandise credit because there wasn't really another option. But what I do remember is turning to my manager as she walked away and saying, "If I had the kind of hacking skills she seems to think I do, I definitely wouldn't be working retail." My manager just laughed and nodded in agreement. I'm sure that customer walked out still convinced we were just being difficult, but that's retail for you. Sometimes, no matter how clearly you explain, some folks just won't believe you. If refunds could work that way, she wouldn't want it. That'd be a security nightmare. Imagine the chaos if employees could just punch in any card number and sling refunds around like Monopoly money. But no, some customers don't want logic. They want what they feel should happen. And anyone standing in the way is obviously being difficult. And our second story. Karen, I'm your boss. We'd been in the house 3 weeks when my husband let the name slip. Karen. He said it the way you say mold. Annoyed, resigned, but not surprised. Who's Karen, I asked. He winced. Old mistake, dated her in college, total chaos goblin. She joined the HOA board right after we broke up. To get serious, I thought she'd moved states. Spoiler, she hadn't. The very next morning, I found a type note jammed under our door. Welcome to the neighborhood. Your trash cans are 2 inches past the regulation line. Kindly correct immediately. Karen, HOA Compliance. 2 inches. I laughed, scooted the cans back, and forgot about it. Bad move. Karen was just stretching. My husband works long tech hours. I'm home with our 2 tornado kids. That meant I was the one who answered every knock, and Karen knocked a lot. Round 1, the safety inspection. Karen showed up in a pastel blazer and neck brace she absolutely hadn't been wearing the day before. HOA protocol, I need to check your backyard for code hazards. Nope, backyard's private. She smirked, refusal noted, and she wrote something on her clipboard that didn't actually have paper on it. Round 2, the dead raccoon. 3 days later, I was chasing our 5-year-old when I smelled it. Sour, rotten, undeniable. A fly-swarmed carcass tucked deep in the corner hedge where nobody from the street could see. 10 minutes after I gag-texted my husband, a cruiser rolled up. Officer, we got a call that your yard's a biohazard and your children are unsupervised while you're intoxicated. Me, holding a Capri Sun. Sir, my biggest vice is discount chocolate. He glanced at the raccoon, then at Karen, filming from her porch like she was auditioning for TMZ. Animal control took the body. The cop left shaking his head. Karen waved sweetly like nothing happened. Round 3, the fines. Letter after letter. Grass too tall. It wasn't. Garden hose visible. It's a garden hose. Christmas lights still up. It was March. We had none. Each fine was $50. Petty, but it added up. I tried being nice once. Baked cinnamon rolls, walked them over. She opened the door, stared at the plate, and said, "Do you really think bribery will erase your violations?" Slam. Cinnamon rolls sacrificed for nothing. Then came the barbecue night. The night the universe decided plot twists were underrated. It was a Saturday, weather perfect. Grill sizzling, my parents, my uncle, a couple friends over, soft jazz on a wireless speaker, volume maybe at pleasant coffee shop. Kids chased bubbles, idyllic. Karen barged through the side gate without knocking. Noise ordinance, it's after 8 and your thump-thump gangsta bass is rattling my china. Everyone just stared because 1, the music was whisper quiet, and 2, who even says thump-thump in 2025? Before I could answer, the bathroom door on the patio swung open. Out stepped my dad, hands still damp from washing. Dad blinked, squinted, and said, "Karen Whitfield?" Karen went sheet white. Her hand shot to the neck brace like adjusting it would hide her face. She turned to bolt, but Dad barked, "Stay right there." Context. My father owns a mid-sized transportation company. 10 years ago, a sales rep named Karen slipped in the parking lot, claimed she shattered her spine, sued for 7 figures, and secured lifetime disability payments plus a monthly company pension. Lawyers advised settling, medical notes looked airtight, security cameras malfunctioned that week. My dad had cursed her name at Thanksgiving every year since. Dad stalked forward, booming so loud the grill tongs rattled. Funny, the woman who can't walk without a cane just hopped my daughter's fence. Karen hissed, I relapsed. Dad snorted, relapsed into sprinting? She tried to retreat, but Uncle Ben blocked the gate like a human fridge. Kids stared, wide-eyed, bubble wands forgotten. Mom whispered, "Honey, phone." Dad pulled out his cell, hit record, and filmed Karen literally running out the side gate, neck brace swinging, heels clicking. We thought that was the end. Oh no, that was just the sizzle before the steak. Monday morning, 7 a.m., violation notice pinned to our door with packing tape. Unsanctioned gathering, exceeding decibel limits, $500 fine, second strike means lien proceedings. My husband was livid. He marched over, but Karen only cracked her door an inch. Talked to the board, she sang, and shut it. That night, Dad called. I hired a private investigator. Guess who was spotted at Pilates yesterday, full plank position. He emailed me the footage. Karen leg pressing like a CrossFit champ, brace tossed beside her mat. Dad, I want to use your HOA circus to bury her. You in? Me. Pass the popcorn. The plan. Pro revenge tier. 1. Dad's PI tailed Karen for 2 weeks. Dog walking, jogging, even salsa dancing on ladies' night, all while claiming total disability. 2. Meanwhile, I gathered HOA paperwork, her forged noise complaints, the bogus landscape fines, our grass length documented by time-stamped photos. Found she'd lost a dozen similar disputes, pattern of harassment. 3, husband dug up old college emails proving she'd stalked him after breakup, threats to ruin future relationships, you'll pay if you ever marry. 4, lawyer, dad keeps one on speed dial, packaged it with PI footage into a civil suit, fraud, emotional distress, harassment, HOA abuse of authority. 5, bonus round, dad's corporate insurer opened a criminal fraud referral. Confrontation day arrived with Breaking Bad energy. We served Karen on her doorstep at 6 a.m. Process server handed over 2 fat envelopes. She screamed, "I'm disabled," right before chasing him down the driveway waving a garden spade. Server's body cam caught every sprinting step. Court moved fast once video evidence hit the docket. Judge watched clips of Pilates Karen, Salsa Karen, Jogging Karen. He actually pressed pause and said, "Ma'am, how is it you completed a Zumba jump turn with a severed L4 disc?" Karen sobbed that exercise was experimental therapy. Judge was unmoved. Civil verdict, repay dad's company $1.3 million plus interest, reimburse my HOA fees, pay our legal costs. Criminal court sentenced her to 3 years for insurance fraud with possibility of parole after 18 months. She left in cuffs, still arguing the neck brace was doctor-ordered. Judge then walked slowly. She marched out so briskly the bailiff laughed. But the petty cherry? HOA bylaws state any board member convicted of dishonesty forfeits property to cover association debts. She had to sell her house at a fire sale price to repay the judgment. New owner? A lovely retired couple who planted sunflowers and waved at my kids. Final scene. Saturday morning, sipping iced coffee on the porch. Mail arrives. HOA newsletter. Big headline. Board president removed. Special election soon. Beneath a tiny footnote, all prior fines issued by former president are void. I pinned the letter on our fridge, poured myself extra creamer, and cranked the jazz all the way to thump thump. Don't abuse your power. Using a position in an HOA to harass neighbors ended in career ruin and loss of property. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.